Good morning. Today we are going to discuss about ESIC Act. ESI Act enacted in the year 1948. What is ESI Act? Employees State Insurance Corporation Act. Basically, it gives social security to the persons. India, in India, what is actually India, what are the contributions? Every employee working in any firm, that is private firms, IT company, maybe any company, those employees' wages below 21,000 monthly, this act will be applicable to those employees. India government reduces rates of contribution under ESI Act. The ESI Act provides the coverage of employees employed for wages on the premises of the establishment where such employees earn 21,000 Indian rupees per month or less. ESI eligibility. Employees whose monthly wages are rupees 21,000 or below are covered under ESI Act. Employee should getting monthly salary of 21,000 or less will be covered under this ESI Act. The wage limit for coverage under the Act had been increased from 15,000 per month to 21,000 in the year 2016. All employees of a covered unit whose monthly income, excluding OTs, overtime, bonus, leave encashment, does not exceed rupees 21,000 per month are eligible to avail this benefits under the scheme. Employees earning daily average wage up to rupees 176 are exempted from ESIC contribution. In this, again, employees earning daily average wage up to rupees 176 are exempted from ESIC contribution. ESI Act ID. In this, persons, IP, insured persons get ID and enactment when he is, first of all, this ESI Act was enacted in the month of April 1948. 19th of April 1948. Act year 1948. The Employee State Insurance Act 1948, an act to provide certain benefits to employees in case of sickness, maternity, and employment injury, and to make provision for certain other matters in relation thereto. This act is enacted in the year 1948 in the month of April for providing certain benefits to employees in case of sickness, maternity, employment injury, etc. The ESI card or the Pehchan card. Pehchan card is smart card. Smart Pehchan card, as it is called, is a magnetic smart identity card. First, these employees whoever working under this, they will get temporary insurance ID card. Afterwards, after issuing of temporary card, they have to get registers along with their beneficiaries in 90 days time period, or else they will lose them. So they have to first take the temporary card, that is Pehchan card. First of all, they have to take the temporary card. After taking temporary card, within 15 days or 30 days, they have to take the permanent Pehchan card with along with their beneficiaries biometrics are registered, or else this temporary identity card will be valid up to 90 days only. In this, again we will see the ESI card or Pehchan card is also known as Magnetic Smart Identity Card. The ESI scheme is self-financed. The employer in this, employer will be contributing 4.75% of the 75%, and the employer will be contributing 1.75% of the earnings. Any worker earning less than 21,000 rupees per month can avail this ESI scheme. Every employee in this scheme, first of all, every employee will be getting first temporary card. After that, that temporary card is valid up to 90 days. After getting temporary card, they have to go and register along with their beneficiaries with biometrics within 30 days. If at all anything happens, smart card does not relieve, they have to do the work again. Again they have to take the Pehchan card, or else they are going to lose their benefits, because it is a smart card. In this ESI scheme, employer will be contributing 4.75% and the employee will be contributing 1.75%. Employees whoever having 21,000 per month can avail this, or less can avail this ESI scheme. The existing wage limit for coverage under the Act is 21,000 per month. 1 month, this is with effect from January 2017. All the states except Nagaland, Manipur, Tripura, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram. Existing wage limit is 21,000 or less, with effect from 1/1/2017. All the states except Nagaland, Manipur, Tripura, Arunachal Pradesh. ESI registration is mandatory for employers having 10 or more employees. For all employees earning rupees, for all employees earning 15,000 or less per month. First, it is in the year 2017, it is limit is changed to 21,000. But earlier to 2017, the wage limit was 15,000 only. 15,000 or less per month. ESI registration is mandatory. Every employer who having 10 or more employees, they must get registered ESI registration. For all employees earning rupees 15,000 or less per month, now it can be, this year is, now we are in 2020. So, for all employees earning 21,000 or less per month as wages, the employer must contributing 4.75% and the employee must be contributing 1.75% towards ESI. ESIC is an insurance for people below certain income level. It helps to get excellent medical care for your family free of cost, like mother, father, children, spouse, etc. Whoever depending on him, her, her can get these benefits. In this, they can get excellent medical care for their family without free of cost, without any expense. ESI deduction is premium. You cannot withdraw. Deduction is a premium. You cannot withdraw from it. Employees covered under the ESI Act are required to pay contribution towards the scheme on a monthly basis. A contribution period means 6 months time span from 1st April to 30th September and 1st October to 31st March. Every employee must contribute to this ESI premium. That is, every month he has to pay 1.75% of their salary. That is 6 months period time. That is from 1st April to 30th September and 1st October to 31st March. The benefit period starts 3 months after the closure of contribution period. He should be paying 6 months to get all these benefits. That is April 1st to 30th September and 1st October to 31st March. Then the benefit period will be starting after 3 months. That is April, May, June, 3 months. After June only, they will be getting the benefits of ESI scheme. According to the latest news, ESI cashless treatment from emergencies has been reintroduced to facilitate hassle-free, timely and cashless delivery of medical services to ESI beneficiaries. The ESI has issued instructions to hospitals with which they have tie-ups to allow direct admissions. Without any cash, employees can get medical help from any of the tie-up institutes, medical institutes. The Employee State Insurance Act 1948 is one of the most important laws that provides social security. This is the main aim of ESIC. The Employee State Insurance Act 1948 provides social security. It contains 6 kinds of ESI benefits that injured employees can avail. All of these benefits must arise in the course of employment in order to enable workers to access them. ESI Act provides social security. It includes all of the benefits must arise in course of employment in order to enable workers to access them. Section 46 of the Act describes all benefits that an injured employee can avail. It is important to note that a worker can avail these benefits in the course of employment only. For example, if a worker suffers an injury, this injury must be an employment injury only. Section 2 of 8 clause says that employment injury is a personal injury that an employee suffers. Such injury must be the result of an accident or occupational disease that arises out of employment. Apart from benefits related to injuries and sickness, Some ESI benefits can arise after maternity as well. The ESI corporation provides some compensation and financial support to employees during these periods. What are all the benefits? The following are some of ESI benefits that employees can avail under ESI Act. Medical benefit. Medical benefit, sickness benefit, dependence benefit, disablement benefit, other benefits. Coming to first, medical benefit. Every IP insured person or every insurable employee under the Act gets medical benefits the day he becomes an employee. This benefit extends to his family members as well. This medical benefit has no ceiling in terms of expenditure on health care. Hence, the ESI corporation takes care of all treatment expenses as per its rules. Apart from general health care benefits, retired and permanently disabled workers also get annual premium of rupees 120. This benefit extends to the spouse of the workers as well. In medical benefit, they can go to any dispensary. ESI, designated ESI, many ESI hospitals are there, dispensaries are there. They have to go and they produce their smart Pehchan card so that immediately without any payment, without any cash, they can be get medical treatments, get medical benefit. If at all the recognized or registered ESI hospital is not near to them, to the IP, that is insured person, immediately he can go to the nearest government, designated nearest government hospital. From there also he will get free of cost treatment. In this, and moreover, these medical benefits are around 38 diseases are diagnosed under this. These 38 diseases can be treated in this. If at all the employee is admitted in private hospital also, the whole expenditure will be borne by ESI only. But it should be according to the designated chart only. Others will be borne by the employee. Sickness benefit. Second is sickness benefit. Coming to sickness benefit, insurable employees under the Act can draw some cash compensation in case they fall sick. This compensation is generally 70% of their wages during the period of sickness for a maximum of 91 days in a year. They will get salary if at all an IP insured person falls sick. Immediately he will get up to 91 days 70% of his salary in a year. In order to avail this sickness benefit, a worker must be pay his contribution for 78. There is a condition to get this sickness benefit. In order to avail this sickness benefit, he must be paying contribution for 78 days out of 6 months. At least he should pay 78 days contribution. Hence, he cannot seek this benefit if he contributes for less than 78 days. If a person does not pay up to 78 days contribution, out of 6 months, he will be forfeited from getting this sickness benefit. That is getting of 70% of salary per 90 days in a year. In this sickness only, some are general sicknesses are there, some extended sicknesses are there. After that, in extended sicknesses also, group of diseases are there. Sickness, sickness benefit, extended sickness is there, general sickness is there. Maternity benefit. Maternity benefit, all female insurable employees can avail maternity benefits under the Act in cases of pregnancy or confinement. Confinement in this case means labor which results in the birth of a living child. It can also mean birth after 26 weeks of pregnancy, whether the child is living or not. Maternity benefit scheme is applicable to all females. They can avail this benefit in case of pregnancy or confinement. Confinement means labor, which results in the birth of a living child. It can also mean birth after 26 weeks of pregnancy, whether the child is live or stillborn. This maternity benefit is generally payable to employees for 3 months. It may, however, be extendable to for 1 more month depending on medical advice. Maternity benefit is payable to employees up to 3 months depending on their medical conditions. It may be extended for 1 more month. The compensation amount in such cases is the full wage amount of the employees. This is payable only if the employee makes a contribution for 70 days in the preceding year. To get this maternity benefit, employee must be paying 70 days in the preceding year. Wow. Hmm. To get maternity benefit, the employee must be paying 70 days in preceding year, that is before getting this maternity benefit. Next, dependent dependent benefits. What are dependent benefits? ESI extend benefits are extended not only to the employees but to their dependents as well in case of employees' death. Such death, however, must occur in the course of an employment injury or occupational hazard. This compensation is generally 90% of the dead employee's wage in the form of monthly payments. If anything happens, occupational Occupational employment injury or occupational hazard occurs due to that employee's death occurs, then the compensation is generally 90%. It will be paid to the dependents of that employee in the form of monthly payments. Disablement benefits. In case of an employee suffers some disablement due to an employment injury, he can seek disablement benefits. Such disablement may be either temporary or permanent. In case of temporary disablement, the compensation is generally 90%, the wage amount until the disablement continues. Here, one point, if at all the employee gets temporary disablement, he will get compensation up to 90% of the wage amount until the disablement continues. The employee can claim this benefit irrespective of whether or not he paid his contribution. Because of disablement, in case of disablement, if he paid the contribution, if he paid the contribution or not paid his contribution also, he will get this disablement benefit. As far as permanent disablement is concerned, the compensation amount depends on the extent of injury. The medical board first determines the extent of the employee's loss of earning capacity and then decides it. In case of permanent disablement, there is a board, medical board will be there. The medical board first determines the extent of employee's loss of earning capacity and then decides it. Other benefits. Apart from these 5 basic ESI benefits, an insurable employee can avail the following miscellaneous benefits also. Those are funeral expenses. The dependents of the deceased employee receive rupees 10,000 to perform his last rites. Vocational physical rehabilitation. This is generally payable to permanently disabled employees. They can avail this benefit for undergoing physical and occasional rehabilitation. Miscellaneous, under miscellaneous, funeral expenses, dependents of deceased employee will receive 10,000 to perform his last rites. For occasional and physical rehabilitation, this is generally payable to permanently disabled employees. Next, old age medical care. This is payable for employees retiring on superannuation or under VRS. Even persons who leave employment after suffering a permanent injury and their spouses can avail this benefit. The compensation amount here is generally rupees 120 per month. Old age medical care. Employees will get payable to employees retiring on superannuation under VRS or ERS. Even persons who leave employment after suffering a permanent injury and their spouses can avail this benefit. The compensation amount here will be 120 rupees per month. In order to qualify for sickness benefit, insured person, worker, is required to contribute 78 days in a contribution period of 6 months. Extended sickness Sickness benefit extendable up to 2 years in case of 34 malignant and long-term diseases at an enhanced rate of 80% of wages. And in case of males, family welfare, under family welfare for undergoing vasectomy, and in females for undergoing tubectomy also, they will, for females they will be getting 7 days of holidays, and in females they will be getting 15 days for under family welfare scheme. How to get ESI money back? The ESI returns are filed half yearly and can be done through their online portal. To file ESI returns online, you need to collect the user ID, password from ESIC office. Form 15 claim for dependent benefit by ESIC. You can find the Form 15 claim for permanent disablement benefit provided by the Employees State Insurance Corporation, Ministry of Labour and Employment, Government of India. Users must read the form and fill up as per the given instructions. If at all, employee should get, if they switch to other also, other firm also, other company also, they have to update everything with their employer, so that it can be easy to get whatever the benefits like medical benefits, sickness benefits, maternity benefits, funeral benefits, and everything. First, IP, that is insured person should having smart card or Pehchan card. Unless and until he will be having the smart card or Pehchan card, he cannot avail the benefits from ESIC. And moreover, ESIC also gives in some ESIC established medical colleges. In this also, one reservation is for the employees who are working, who having this Pehchan card. ESIC approves unemployment benefit scheme for formal sector workers. Workers will be able to draw 47% of their total contribution towards ESIC after remaining unemployed for at least 3 months from the date of leaving their previous jobs. Here, under miscellaneous, again we can see ESIC approves unemployment benefit scheme for formal sector workers. Workers will be able to draw 47% of their total contribution towards ESIC after remaining unemployed for at least 3 months from the date of leaving their previous jobs, according to the draft scheme. This ESI Act is to provide social security to the employees who are earning 21 up to 21,000. Thank you.